Hello, and welcome to a narrative overview of the Table Tennis England rankings and ratings system. The presentation will take around 12 minutes and cover why we have a national rankings, an overview of the Table Tennis England system, the principles of a relative ranking system, the key features of the Table Tennis England system, a worked example, playing internationally, new players, and transitioning age groups. There are many reasons to have a national ranking and rating system. Some of these reasons relate directly to players and members. Others provide supporting information for practical processes. Purposes of a ranking system includes motivating table tennis players to play and improve, enabling players, parents, coaches, and others to have an understanding of relative player position and progress, reflecting performance within age groups for talent ID and tracking, identifying invitations and seedings for national events, and informing national selections. As a simple overview, the rankings is a list for England eligible players only.
The ratings is a separate list of all players competing in Table Tennis England events.
The rankings and rating lists are gender specific. The lists include results from all national events, including tournaments such as national championships, national cups, Grand Prix, leagues including British League, National Cadet and Junior League, and county championships, and external sanctioned competitions including 1-star, 2-star, 4-star, and vets events. However, the rankings and ratings do not include local leagues or doubles matches. Points are awarded at cadet under 15 level, junior under 18 level, senior, open, and veterans 40 plus levels, depending on the event. Players can therefore appear on multiple lists if they are eligible and play both those events. The Table Tennis England system is a relative system, also known as an ELO system. This means it is based on head-to-head results, with points gained or lost in each match relative to the existing ranking points of player and opponent. Points gained or lost in each match are used to create ranking and ratings lists. Some of the benefits of relative systems are that they work equally well for any event format and recognise good wins or bad losses. Also, players who play less frequently are not disadvantaged. The system rewards quality rather than quantity. It is not about how much you play. Relative systems are generally held to be the most accurate, though complex, methodology of equating results to rankings. Some of the key features of the Table Tennis England system are as follows. A weighting is applied to each event. This means, for instance, that you can win or lose more points at a higher rated 4-star event than a lower rated 2-star event. Although the head-to-head result is the most important element, bonus points are also applied for reaching the latter stages of a knockout event. The further you get, the more points are awarded. Players are temporarily removed from the published lists after 6 months inactivity, but still retain their points total if they start playing again within a further 6 months. After 12 months inactivity, the player will have a new rating calculated when they meet certain criteria. Players holding existing affiliations with other home country or foreign associations are given a reciprocal Table Tennis England registration so that they can be included in the Table Tennis England system when they play Table Tennis England ranking events. Some England eligible players will also play ITTF international competitions, so above a certain level, these results are also reflected in the Table Tennis England domestic ranking and rating system. Around 300 external sanctioned events, such as 1-star, 2-star, and 4-stars, take place each season. These results are sent to Table Tennis England by the organisers and must be received by specified deadlines to be uploaded to the system. In all, there are over 100,000 matches each season, which is over 200,000 player results. You can see here how the lists appear on the Table Tennis England website. The lists for men and women's, cadets, juniors, seniors and veterans are updated once a month. When they are required, additional lists are extrapolated for under 21, under 13 and other specific age groups. In all, there are around 3,000 players on the Table Tennis England ranking lists. You can see here an example of one list. This shows the senior list for men and relates to all events in the 1920 season up to 31st of December. At number 1, you can see Liam Pitchford, ID 2093, from Derbyshire County, with a points total of 3,321 points. As of the 31st December date, Liam was 1 month inactive. There are 782 players in all on the senior men's ranking list. This information is publicly accessible and can be seen by anyone. And you can see here an example of a player audit covering a 1-month period. Player audits are restricted and can only be seen by the player concerned by logging into his or her Table Tennis England membership profile. In this particular example, you can see the dates of 2 events within a specific period. In the first head-to-head example, we can see that the player had a rating of 1,487 points and his opponent had a rating of 1,393 points. The player with the higher rating was indeed the winner, making this an expected win, resulting in +8 points. In the second head-to-head example, you can see an unexpected win against a higher rated player, which therefore results in a larger amount of points being awarded. Similarly, you can see next an expected loss against a higher rated player, which results in a small loss of points. And lastly, an unexpected loss against a lower rated player, which results in a larger points deduction. The amount of points in each scenario is calculated not only on the specific difference between the rating of both players at that point in time, but also the weighting of the event in which they are playing. In this way, every result in the system is dependent on every other. We are now going to look at 2 specific circumstances. Firstly, for England eligible players who also compete in ITTF competitions. This could either be as an individual entering an event on the open circuit or when selected for England duty. In certain circumstances, results in ITTF events are also reflected in the Table Tennis England rankings, but this is not intended to duplicate the separate ITTF international ranking list. This is so that players who compete in ITTF events rather than domestic competition continue to be recognised in the Table Tennis England rankings. To be included, the opponent at an ITTF event has to be in the top 30% of the ITTF ranking list. If not, then the match will result in a nominal +1 point for a win or 0 point for a loss. However, if the opponent is in the top 30%, they will be given an equivalent Table Tennis England ranking on the basis of their ITTF position. Points are then calculated as normal on the basis of both players' respective Table Tennis England ranking points. Please note that international results are not calculated against both players' ITTF points or the England eligible players' ITTF points. One further point to note is that an override will be used, if necessary, to ensure that the ranking order of players in the Table Tennis England lists remain consistent with international ranking order. We will now look at new players joining the system or returning after 12 months. When this happens, players are given an initial rating on the basis of the first group of results. Typically, this involves playing at least 4 matches and achieving at least 1 win in a single monthly window. The initial rating itself is calculated on the basis of how many wins and the ratings of the opponents. The specific process is available on the Table Tennis England website. It should be stressed that this is not working up from the bottom. If a new player gets the right results, they can start straight away at the highest levels of the ranking system, and a returning player could restart at a higher place than previously. However, because it is a relative system, any player initially overrated or underrated will rapidly find their true level as they play more games. It should also be noted that rankings are separate to event seedings, which can take into account form and fitness, so referees have discretion to seed unrated or newly rated or inactive players at an appropriate level for a given event. If you are an established player that happens to play a new player, you may do so before their initial rating is established and known. If this happens, then your opponent's initial rating will be backdated to all matches in that ranking month, and the points will be calculated as normal. However, if the new player fails to obtain an initial rating, then you will receive a nominal +1 point for a win or 0 point for a loss. One potential exception to the normal points calculation is in mixed gender matches. When both players are rated lower than 600 points, then points are calculated as normal. But if one or both players are rated over 600 points, the match is not counted, because not enough mixed gender competition exists to create a meaningful correlation between male and female ratings at the higher levels. At the beginning of each new ranking year, two key processes take place. Firstly, as players progress into a new age group, such as cadets to juniors or juniors to seniors, they will take their existing points total with them. This will replace any points that may have already been accrued in that new age group. As with new players, any player initially overrated or underrated in their new age group will rapidly find their true level as they play more games. Secondly, every player will have 10% of their points total deducted at the beginning of each year. This is designed to provide an incentive to play. The idea is that those who play very little will gradually fall down the ranking list as they lose 10% of their points total each year. Thank you for listening, and we hope this has been a helpful, informative presentation. For further information, please visit the Table Tennis England website, where you can find the current ranking and ratings lists, monthly ranking run dates, and also see a greater level of detail in the guide to the ranking system, including tables for bonus points, event weightings, and the win-loss points matrix.